Welcome back to a new video, everyone. Today we are working on an XV-8 crisis suit.
Not just a crisis suit. I'm going to try to put this in the Grimdark style.
Laying down a layer of Citadel Ulthuan Grey, and Jason is running low on this product. He'll be heading out to our local game store tomorrow to pick up some more.
Starting off in this model, it's going to be just like I've painted some of the previous ones. We're going to paint it up nice before we bring it back down. On top of the Ulthuan Grey, I'm using Apothecary White from the Citadel contrast range.
That base is full of upcycling. Jason used the excess plastic from the model to create a little bit of texture on the base. Really important. It seems like a silly thing, but it's the detail that really sells the figurine.
For the gray panels, I'm using Army Painter Ash Gray. I'm using Vallejo German Grey for these darker bits. That should allow you to get a darker contrast and highlights on top of it. If you're trying to follow along, I would recommend doing the black part first so that in case you mess up, you don't have to paint over the white, which is a lot harder to paint over. For a little bit of color on this model, I'm using Citadel Mephiston Red on the antenna. For these round things, I'm using Army Painter Greedy Gold.
If you have 5 extra minutes to spend on your model, go ahead and get that, what's it called?
Panel liner.
Panel liner. And do a little panel lining because it really makes the model pop.
Panel liner should really dash right into the recesses, but if things get a little bit messy, I would just get a Q-tip and a little bit of white spirits and it should clean up real easy.
This little section of video shows Jason adding battle damage and weathering. It looks pretty cool. You need to be careful though. Less is more. You don't want to get carried away with your battle damage.
And some of it might get wiped off later anyway. For this weathering and damage, I'm just using a very dark gray or very dark red. It's important to kind of pick areas that would probably naturally get some damage. Not everything's going to be on the top bright surfaces. It's going to be on the sides where things are going to be catching as these robots are walking around. So it makes sense that you'd see a lot of wear on the feet. This is a good chance to get your old beat up brushes out. Here I'm going to try like a bullet hole or something.
Getting ready now to get that decal placed on, and I'm going to advise you, get a good pair of tweezers if you're going to be doing a lot of this decal transferring. Tweezer Man makes a really nice pair. Get a pair for yourself and don't try and borrow someone else's.
It's not like I broke them or something. Anyways, that was brief just because I used the brush to try to put it into place. For these decals, nothing too special. I just soaked them in water for about 30 seconds and pushed them on. For this one on the arm, I tried to get the decal to fold over and underneath. With the decal fully dry, I'm just going to come in with a hobby knife and kind of cut into where the panel lines are. Now I'm going back to some of my old battle damage and trying to give an underneath highlight to where there might be a raised edge from some of those marks going on. I mentioned I was going to start pushing this in the Grimdark style, not just battle damage, so we're going to give this an all-over wash with Nuln Oil. Did I say wash? This is going to be more like a bath. It's also a good time to make sure we're keeping up with our base too. These backpack boosters get a Agrax Earth Shade, which is a bit more of a brown wash. And soak up the excess from the bath that we gave it.
This is a new product that Jason tried out on this model. It is the Streaking Grime from AK Interactive. His friend Josh let him borrow this. If you're interested, Josh has his own YouTube channel. It's called the Josh Hobby Vlog. Tip, if you're going to use the Streaking Grime, make sure you do not let it dry before wiping off the excess.
Letting this dry will make it very difficult to get off. So take it off while it's still wet.
This is your bravery test.
You know when Bob Ross does that bravery test? 95% of the time he ruins the painting.
Before he saves it. So this is the bravery test portion. Here I'm using basically an industrial paint remover. I really should have thinned it because it went down to bare plastic very quickly. So I regretted that, but I think it did give me the effect I was looking for. I put it in a small area and stippled it on. So is it ruined or saved? Tell me in the comments.
Here's a detail that could be very easily overlooked. That's a lens inside of there. Make sure you take your time and really give that some dimension so that people believe it's a lens.
In the end, this is the only clean part of the model. To get my lens effect, I'm just working bottom left to top right in progressively lighter shades of blue and then a tiny dot of white in the lower left.
And no, you are not imagining things. Jason did just remove all of that product.
I did remove a lot of it, but in the cleaning stages before this and adding some of the wear and tear, I think we can bring back some of that grime. So I'm going to put some of the more of that streaking grime back on. I've got more of the washes into the recesses to bring back some of what we lost. Now is also the time to highlight back on some of your old paint from where it was totally lost before. Even though we're Grimdark, we can still provide highlights. Put a lot of effort into the base, a lot of extra bits, so I'm going to be bringing some of that contrast and darkening things up in there.
Always paint the rim.
So I always like seeing Grimdark models, and I figured I'd give it a shot in this Tau. I think it was mostly successful. Thanks for watching.
Hope you found that interesting. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button.